Okay, so this is the Pursuing the Black Harvest Kanrethad Ebonlocke guide by Aris the Undying. For this fight I used the talents Soul Leech, Shadow Fury, Sacrificial Pact, Unbound Will, Grimoire of Sacrifice, and Kill Jaden's Kind. I did this with an iLvl of 496, and I used a great deal of macros for this. So the first one that's quite important is a Fell Flame Breath, which I use for myself, and there is one I made for the imps as well. A quick pet move too, which you'll see demonstrated. Also a defensive macro. You can also add Unending Resolve into this, but I didn't. And an Enslave Pitlord tooltip macro that I found insanely useful. So this fight consists of a few different things. Firstly, you'll want to set yourself up and do the sacrifice thing. I used my Void Walker for his extra health buff, which I found kind of useful as a cooldown. I set up my portals across the circle in the middle, and I set my little demon gate portal thing right up there, which you will see why. It has a great deal to do with my strat for killing fell hunters. So you summon the boss. You want to get as much DPS on him as possible in that first phase, so I tend to kind of pop everything except my Doomguard. This includes Dark Soul. Once I had approximately 2 embers, sometimes I popped it even earlier. It kind of depended on how I felt at that point, but basically you want to try and get as much damage on Kanrethad while he's just standing there yakking on. This is where you can use your Enslaved Pitlord macro. I also glyphed my Enslaved Demon, so it had a 1.2 second cast. This was really useful for times that my Fell Hunter phase went less than stellar. It also made re-enslaving my Pitlord quite easy. So the Wild Imps phase is pretty typical. I used Shadow Fury to stun them, and I used my Imp Flame macro to get them aggroed onto my Pitlord, although as you can see this didn't work. I had a few aggro issues throughout this fight, but as I'm doing this again right now for the demonstrative purposes, it really didn't matter at this point, nor did it really matter when I was doing the fight. I popped my defensive macro every time Kanrethad Chaos bolted me. I didn't bother interrupting those, although in this first phase I did find it quite useful to keep interrupting him before he was casting Cataclysm. In the second phase, for the Fell Hunters, I used a different strat. I moved my Pitlord over into the corner behind the portal there, and then I would put Rain of Fire down in the portal. I would Havoc the first Fell Hunter, then I would start casting Chaos Bolt on the second, use the Pitlord's charge, breathe on them, and that was 2 dead in one go. Then I would just basically burn down those last remaining ones. Sometimes I could kill both in one go, sometimes it took a little longer, but very often at least, and when I actually killed him, I was able to kill all 3 very quickly, and I found this a lot easier than line of sighting the Pitlord behind the pillars or anything else, quite frankly. The first Doomlord I put as my focus, and I used a banish macro as well, just basically a target, banish equals focus, target macro. This is because when I was doing this, and I was a lot less geared than I am currently, I was finding that I was not killing him quick enough, and my Pitlord was just taking way too much damage from Kanrethad, 2 Doomlord, or 2 Doomguards, plus all the imps and whatnot. You'll want to be burning yourself with your Pitlord throughout the entire fight, of course. You'll want to use his charge to interrupt Cataclysm. Other things I found useful was your Pitlord can heal you, which is kind of nifty, and I would pop my own Doomguard for the second Fell Hunter phase, or for the second Doomguard, but usually I would use him on the second Fell Hunter phase to try and burn those down as quickly as possible. Once you get your second Doomguard out, basically all Kanrethad does from there in is summon imps. These are really handy to keep Rain of Fire up on, because you can keep getting your Burning Embers back as destruction, and healing yourself with Ember Tap. So yeah, I found that really useful, and eventually I was able to kill him. So that was basically just the strat that, especially dealing with Fell Hunters, I found most useful. and hopefully you did too. So thank you for watching, and good luck.